Man, that'd be awesome. So what's the motivation, right? What's the motivation of going after whatever it is that you're chasing or whatever it is that I'm chasing? For me personally, is a combination of, I'm gonna say 2 or 3 things, right? Number one is I'm more driven to help than to succeed, if that makes any sense. My ability, my drive, my willingness, the excitement of able to provide some type of help and value for someone is just that much more valuable than it is to say I made it. In a way, by me helping, it makes me feel like I made it. That's number one. Number two is obviously my wife, obviously the kids, Christine, Josiah, Layla. I want to be able to provide a lifestyle of very minimal concern for the things that we grew up worrying about. Obviously, I want to have experiences. I want to provide the kids, Christine, with different life experiences to where they can carry on the kids over to our grandkids and so on and so on and so on, right? The exposure to certain experiences and certain situations is what motivates me. Like, I want the kids to be able to have that. And obviously, to be able to share the opportunity to grow something with my wife is, man, it's irreplaceable. And really, man, the important one is my mom. I told my mom one day I would open a company where I was going to employ her, where she would be able to come and go as she pleases, where I can help her pretty much paying her back for what she's done, which is a lot. I actually talked to her today and I was like, man, I can't wait. Hopefully this time next year, I've built some type of company where I'll be able to employ you directly. You no longer have to clock into work. That is the goal. That's the drive. That's the motivation, At this point, because of how the market has shifted and how things are looking, if sometimes it feels like the walls are caving in, right? You constantly have to shuffle around to try to find solutions to situations that you put yourself into, right? Like we're refinancing now, it's tougher, right? Because when we bought some of these properties, we were thinking to refinance at a 3 or 4%. Now we're refinancing at a 6.5%, 7.5%. Right, so situations change. That's a whole other conversation. So lenders are expecting money. Rents have to be raised. Property taxes went up. All of that takes in consideration. But in the back of my head is like, man, I have to, this has to move forward because I have to deliver that to my mother. That is, yeah, give me a minute. Man, that'll be awesome. Whew. All right, I'm back. If I can deliver that to my mom, if I can do that for my mother, man, it would just be, it would be awesome. And I can't go without giving credit to some of the people that helped me, right? Like you have, obviously my dad, everybody knows, if you know me well enough, you know what my dad's been to me, right? That's because he's always been the face, the physical presence in everything that I've always done. But man, you got people like, the Shy. It's a guy named Shy that he gave me an opportunity a long time ago, right? You have his brother Jacob. You got people like Kelly, who used to be the owner of a company that gave me a position and gave me a lot of responsibility and trusted me with my judgment. You got people like Scott Tinkham, man, that guy was such an influence to me, right? But then you have people like James today or Chuck who are constantly willing and putting their trust in me, right? You got people like my accountant, Jared, I mentioned on another video who Spencer was to me. Those individuals, man, you got my close friends, like Hector that I'm always conversating with. Like this is not something that got produced by itself. Like I've had to trust and I've had to provide, I had to give my everything to these people for them to have faith in me in order for me to deliver results, right? Because ultimately this was the goal. right? When I was working as a runner for a construction company, or when I was bidding how to renovate restrooms, when I got myself into a financial situation where I had to go get an accountant, right? Oh, and don't even forget my boy Reese. My God, what he's done for me. Like this, I knew when I was going through all that stuff, ultimately what the goal was. And the goal was for me to create a situation where I can determine the outcome. I can determine how it goes and where it shifts. All I'm saying is, look, like you can't just stop, right? Like ultimately, like it has to make sense in your head. It don't have to make sense to anybody. Most of you who watch my content today laughed about the content that I was producing 6-7 years ago, right? Because it was nonsense, but in my mind, this is how it played out. It's ultimately chasing the dream that's so far-fetched that it's supposed to make you laugh and it's supposed to scare me. Right? Now I'm in the dream. Obviously that dream's no longer the dream anymore because I made it. Now the dream just got bigger. And still, a lot of you don't have the faith because you guys are afraid to dream. Right? So I have goals. I have dreams. I told you. The goal is, the motivation is, wife, kids, my mother, right? My ability to provide help and some type of content for you guys, right? To inspire you to do something. But the dream is even bigger than that, right? I talk to people like, my content creator who's right here, and I tell him like, dude, as soon as he came on board, I was like, dude, we can do this, we can do that, we can create opportunity, we can create concept, we can create so much. Where now he's benefiting from it, right? And it doesn't stop there. It benefits his wife, it benefits his kids, right? So when all I'm saying is my lifestyle changed when my mindset changed. And I decided I wanted to chase my dream, I wanted to chase my goal, right? And in the meantime, I was going to help as many people as I could with whatever information I got. So if I ever brought any value to you, if anything that I ever said, any question I ever answered has been to your benefit, man, you have no idea how happy that makes me. And thank you again to everyone who's helped me throughout all this and who's helping me right now. Like I said, the Reeds, the Jared, the Spencers, all the way back to, like I said, obviously James, Chuck, we have, Jose Macias, he was the first one to give me a loan on a property. To me, that was crazy. Richard, there's people that never even met me before. These are not even my friends, right? I think Reese is the one that's known me for a while, but none of these people knew me and they trusted me. I created enough value for myself that they trusted me to help me reach the next level. And now they're willing to help to get to the next level. And man, I almost forgot fucking Eddie. Like, my God, this dude's fucking, mind fucking blowing who this guy is to me now. Eddie, appreciate you, man. Everybody, thank you, man. Thank you. And if I've helped you or if I can help you, reach out, man. We just want to help. Again, my boy with XD Visuals, myself with 143 Holdings, we want nothing else than to bring some type of value to you guys and help you go chase whatever's in here and actually put it to work. Man, thank you. Thank you for everyone who watched. Subscribe. Don't forget, hashtag Big Vice Houses. And let's go, man.